like he's got a playlist that's just for beginners. He's got like 5 videos that are to start with. Here's the first thing I think you should try, and then the next thing. You just
Mm-mm.
sort of hit his videos kind of randomly as they were available.
Like I said, this is how this is how I met Trevor.
Yeah.
Once I was inspired by one video that I had seen, did not talk to him. I didn't join his school. I sat there and I studied how he was breathing when objects moved. I noticed when he would be at full breath or when he was exhaling it all the way out. I noticed these things and when the objects seemed to move, and I did that for myself. I kind of was like, okay, you moved something before, you've blown lights before. Let's see if you can figure out this whole breathing technique that he's talking about. And once I started learning breathing, I created a DVD that he owns at his house. It's got 20 videos on it, and it's very, very like, it's legit. I sent it to him so he could tell me how, if it was worth giving out to people to teach them. And he said it was one of the first videos he ever seen that somebody could learn within a few hours. Um,
Nice.
so I went that far, and I only joined Trevor's school to show him that I could move objects.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't because I wanted him to teach me or that his school taught me anything. I actually remembered how to do telekinesis by 500 hours of just sitting down messing around with things. Uh,
Right, right, right.
it wasn't so much him, it was more of memories and inspired by him.
Right,
So
right.
he became one of my best friends. Like, I really like the guy. We've done a lot of talking, like just private, like you and I.
Yeah.
Um, he said I was a lot like him like 10, 15 years ago. So,
Right.
and he was pretty inspired by my channel because of how I was changing and growing and evolving. Like, my own style of training was so different than everybody else's. Um,
Yes. The interesting part is that he told me that he was inspired to start his channel just to show people and thought that it might be interesting to people, but it really came out to where he's connecting with people um, who have the ability as well, right? It's almost like as much instruction as it is connection, with that community of people
right,
that already are doing it.
right.
So
He
that's fascinating.
attracted by law those that were interested found him.
Yeah,
The same way a magnet would eventually find another magnet. So it worked for me in the same thing because when I started my channel, people started flocking to me, and I advertised my Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Antonio Telekinestwood. Um,
okay,
I have over 500 followers and 2.2 thousand people friend re- they like requested me over the whole time I've had my Facebook. I don't add people. Some reason they find me and add me because of my videos. So
yeah,
I've gathered all these people that have interests and who were skeptics, who are no longer skeptical. I've helped people, just like you and I talking, train. I helped a guy 2 days ago over video train. I helped a girl a few weeks ago train over video. I have the ability, and this isn't a joke. I can do something for you if you wanted to see it yourself. I can actually influence wheels right through this screen. If you put one in front of you, I can spin it for you.
yeah.
I have
That's
lots of
fascinating.
videos. I went further and I put a pinwheel in front of someone's lawn in Australia, and I was able to coordinate. Let's say, and I'll move just one wheel, and I started moving them. So I'm not just doing telekinesis. I can push energy through the screen, and I can interact with something that I've already bonded with. Um,
Yeah. So is that the farthest you've seen the effect? So where's your general location?
I'm in Maine.
So from Maine to Australia, that's pretty far.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
To
instant.
have that effect.
I've done
Right.
I've done Arizona, I've done Canada, I've done Australia. Uh, I believe a long, long time ago I had somebody in China or somewhere in Japan or something. Used to be
Yeah.
part of my group, but I can move things under glass as well. Right there. If you were to put a side wheel under glass, I can make it move as if I was there. So
Yeah, that's fascinating.
yeah,
I don't have a side wheel, or I'd set it up. I need to create one. I've
yeah.
been using this dollar bill, and I'm trying to make the, go through Trevor's, kind of make a connection with the dollar bill, and seeing if I can breathe properly and stuff
Let
like
me
that. And
let me
it takes
explain.
time.
While you're on that subject, I'll explain something to you that Trevor thought it was really cool that I was one of the only people to break down telekinesis so fast that I could teach it. Teach it in like minutes. Sometimes people can get. Sometimes people can move a side wheel and they have to see it done first, and then all of a
Right.
sudden they're moving it themselves.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much. If you get yourself a plastic cup that you can cut, like a just a red plastic party cup, and then you get
Uh-huh.
yourself a couple sewing needles, you can put sewing needles through the cup and make yourself a little base for a tinfoil spin or a paper spin or something.
Oh, okay.
So it's really easy to make them. And if you put multiple in front of you, I could move just one of them, or I could make them both move, or
Yeah,
whatever.
versus the other.
So I can give demonstrations, and that's what helped me teach people is because I can like,
Yeah.
hey, listen, set that up, and I'll move it for you through the screen, and then you're gonna be like, oh my god, he moved it through the screen. I think I can do this. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
energy
inspirational.
energy is crazy, and Trevor Trevor helped me grow a lot. His life totally blew up for him. He became a grower and he had his Ormus business. And a lot of this practice, before I forget, does have to do with upgrading your body's energy, like cellular power. Ormus does that. A good Ormus, and you take it every day, a couple tablespoons, will eventually boost your aura, which is increasing all your cellular power, which makes training outside simple. When your aura
Yeah.
becomes thicker, everything around you sees you in a whole different way, even the air itself. So it's like nature's waiting to interact with you, but it's very picky, and you got to devote yourself a good couple thousand hours for it to say, "I'm gonna work with you because you've proven
Right.
yourself to recognize me," and that's part of like the creator and God and all that. Like I'm a firm believer. I've had a near death experience. I know that there's an afterlife. That was 15 years ago. So I've had things happen to me where I know that there's God and I believe He didn't want me 15 years ago because of this now. So
Yeah.
I had a purpose and I really felt like it kind of grew upon me to want to talk to people and to get good enough where I could say, listen, here's my channel, here's a training channel. Would you like some Ormus? I make it myself.
Yeah.
Let's upgrade your energy and let me teach you how to move things. So
Yeah. The near death experience, was that before or after you started already experimenting with telekinesis?
it's way like I would say that happened 12 maybe 10 years before telekinesis.
Oh, okay.
It was a long
So
time ago.
much before, yeah.
Yeah, I was in my 20, maybe 23, 24, something like that. So I went to Oregon from Maine and I met a girl off the internet. So I kind
Yeah.
of flew across America knowing that it wasn't going to work out. I figured it was time for me to either say I'll make it or I won't. And
Yeah.
I went out there and it was great for a few months, but after that, it was no different than living here. So I ended up homeless and on the verge of giving up. And I I technically died there for a few seconds on someone's couch. I had stayed awake for a few weeks. There was stuff out there that can keep you awake. So,
Yeah.
you know, I got into a bad situation when I was young. I gave up. But then I was given a second chance. And when I got back from that experience, I met a girl and was with her for 12 years. So
Oh,
my life changed. And then while with her, I developed all these abilities that everybody can do. And not just me. We all can do them. Uh, I can.
do you think there's a stratification that, if it's an ability that every human being can do you think that some people are more naturally gifted, like they're good at running or ping pong or something like that, or is it just everybody has the same amount of strength?
Everybody has everybody has the same amount of life energy. It's enough to keep you going. And the reason I say everybody can do this is because what I actually figured out through probably 15 hours worth of practice was to how to make my body feel sleeping while awake. And it has to do with a specific guided meditation that teaches you how to relax every single piece of you slowly. And once you're fully relaxed, you're still awake, but you feel like you're not there. And during this period, I used to do these, just listening to this meditation, I would set up psi wheels all around me. And as I got closer to being at full peace, they started to move. So that tells me that everybody can do it while they sleep, meaning everybody can do it while they're awake, but tension, fear, anger, stress, medications are a big factor in telekinesis because you're altering your chemistry. You're not in a happy mood to even feel a slight bit of energy move because you're not sleeping. Sleeping is when your energy fluctuates. It heals you. It travels. So
Yeah.
if you can recognize how to be awake while sleep, which I could share a video. It's called Yoga Nidra, and this is on YouTube, and it's a girl's voice. It's really nice, relaxing, and she'll guide you through this whole 20-minute thing. By the time you're at the end of it, you either fall asleep or you're laying there thinking your body is asleep.
Yeah.
That's what you want to master, and that helps when you're training outside or when you're pinwheeling because you learn to get into that state of real peace. That's real calm. Um, it's hard to get that way when you're awake. You're too much going on.
Yeah. Have you ever put on like an EEG headset when you've been doing your training to see what your brain
Hmm.
levels are?
No, I've never tested
Um,
anything. No.
would you? So, as part of my research, I mean, this right now is just for this paper, which I have to present in June. But I- I'm considering doing a little deeper dive into those who can do telekinesis. And there's a headset for through the Muse company. It's called the Muse S Athena. It's basically an EEG and a FNIRS system, which will actually show blood flow to the brain as well as what brain states you are. So I went ahead and I bought two of those. One that I would use myself for my own training, but for people who are interested, I'd be happy to mail the second headset to individuals who are not here. I live in Arizona, and if they're willing to put it on and do certain exercises so that we can try to track brain states
Right.
and use that as part of a research paper
Yeah.
in order to see if there's a common kind of brainwave pattern that people when they're doing telekinesis have.
Right. I actually don't know how common. I've taught a lot of people, and I've taught them to pinwheel and move side wheels and play with things outside. One of the biggest things, balloons. They're an amazing tool. If you put a bunch of balloons on the ground that are colored, I can line them all up and I can organize them by color outdoors. So I could take the red, move it over there, and put the blue over there, and pull just one of them and place it at your foot. I've gotten to that point where I think I think my aura and my energy is recognized naturally because of the strength of it. I don't even have to really try. I just have to calm down and relax and take a few deep breaths, and instantly I can listen. I listen for connection because when you connect to the system outdoors, something strange happens. A dog might bark in the distance, a siren might go off, or a car alarm might go off for a couple seconds. Things happen when you connect, and
Yeah.
that I'm positive because this is a crazy thing. Listen to this. This is 100. I wish I had a video, but I didn't know it. During COVID, everything was shut down. The
Yeah.
planes, the airports, everything. I'm outside and I'm training with my pinwheel and I'm sitting there moving it, just la la la. I know it. I know that everything's shut down. Well, all of a sudden I hear a jet in the sky, and I'm like looking around and I'm like, wait a minute, everything's shut down. There's no jets flying. this is pre-COVID. This is like the worst of it. As soon as I stopped training for about a minute, the jet faded away. I waited a good 10, 15 minutes. I went back out and did it again. I heard it again. So, what it is the system has to balance the energy that you've disrupted, and it corrects it with something bigger, something something larger than what you